You ready?
He had some connections to.
For him.
They take care of it.
That's what he says. It's Teresa again.
You ready, Denise? Okay. Should I call this Morgan City Council meeting to order? It is September 28th. And we'll start off by welcoming the citizens here. Appreciate those that are listening on YouTube, those that are here in person. And next thing I have, if we have pledge of allegiance, I'd like to ask Jeffrey if he'd listen to the pledge of allegiance. And David, if he'd give us an opening ceremony.
Everybody please stand. You can. Please pledge allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you.
Our Father in heaven, we come before thee as we begin our Morgan City Council meeting, thankful for the opportunity we've been given to live in this great community. We're thankful for the members of our community. We pray for them and ask that they might be blessed. We pray that we might receive the inspiration and guidance that we need tonight to direct the affairs of the city. Do so in the name of Jesus Christ. Amen.
Amen.
Thank you, Jeffrey and David. Okay, next time we'll look at the warrants. We have one set of warrants to discuss and or approve. If you're ready for questions or ready for a motion to approve them, I'll take that direction.
Mayor, I've reviewed the warrants and would move to approve the Morgan City warrants dated 9/10 to 9/27 of 21.
I can second that, Mayor.
Moved by David, second by Jeffrey, that we approve the one set of warrants dated 9/10 to 9/27. Any discussion on that motion? Seeing none, proceed to vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, motion passed unanimously. Okay, next item of business, verbal presentation by Chamber of Commerce. We have Tracy here representing the Chamber of Commerce.
Good afternoon or good evening, gentlemen. You what?
I was just seeing if your microphone was on.
Yeah, it's on. First off, we'd like to thank you for your support of the chamber this past year. And give you a quick rundown. Our events, we've been doing our lunch and learns, as some of you are aware of, but our events for activities started in May. We did our business golf tournament. That turned out really well, a huge success. A lot of people, I think, in fact, I think we were full. I think we had a full roster on that. The next event we did was July 4th. If any of you were in attendance, you saw that it was also it was a big success, a lot of fun, a lot of people in the river. We were a little concerned because of that, how low the river was, but it did not stop cardboard boats from going in. So we had the search and rescue participate, as well as the Swiftwater, and Donna's rafting company came and helped, and it ended up being a really good event. Lots of great fun. And then of course the fireworks were fabulous this year. So that was a big success. The last thing that we did was, of course, last night, our business to business expo, where we had Dan Clark come up and speak. If you missed the business expo, you missed a good event. That was a lot of fun. There was a lot of businesses there. I think there was a lot of support. It was hard to judge because it was more spread out than it was when it's indoors. We normally have it in January, but this year we did it in September. But I think the turnout, was really it was really well attended. Dan did a great job speaking, talked about his ties to the community and how he kind of got his start here, had a lot of good things to say about Dave and the bank. So that was
I
fun
paid
to
him for
listen
that.
to. Huh?
I paid him for that.
Yeah, he really
It was a-
talked you up, Dave.
it was
You
a
must
paid
have paid him a
endorsement.
lot.
You accepting autographs?
Robbed the bank,
Yeah,
paid off
yeah.
the speaker as well.
Money, that'll be on the next set of warrants.
Perfect. So yeah, we just thank you for your support. The only thing we have left coming up as far as events this year, we still have a couple lunch and learns to get through that we will be having, which we would like to invite you all to. The one coming up the first Tuesday of the month.
Yeah, why don't you tell them more about what they are, Teresa?
Lunch and
So they
learns
know,
are
yeah.
basically, so the next one is October 5th. And on that one, we are actually going to be having the mayor candidates come. We're going to ask them a few questions, have some question and answer periods. But the lunch and learns are basically for businesses. We invite everyone that's a member of the chamber is invited. We pay for lunch, we feed them lunch. And then we have different government entities come up. We have people from, we've had Ty come up from Young's and he, talks and teaches them about marketing and business strategy and just all sorts of different things that, whatever anybody suggests, then we have them come up. Like I said, the one coming up on Tuesday is going to be strictly mayor candidates. And at one time we talked about inviting the city council, but do you know if they got that done, Ty? The city
don't know. At
council
the last-
candidates, sorry.
At the last meeting, they talked about, but I don't know if anybody's
Yeah,
invited
they were
them,
gonna
but
reach out to the city council
candidates.
candidates as well. So anyways, it's a good way to interact with the businesses in the county, or excuse me, well, yeah, all throughout the county, but we hold those almost monthly, except for the months that we have events going on. We didn't have one in September, July, different times like that. And then after that, we'll have a couple more lunch and learns, and then we will have our big Christmas celebration on Commercial Street, where we auction off the trees and have all the goodies and stuff over there. So we look forward to that, and we would just ask for your support again for the coming year, for your chamber member dues again, to keep us going, or to help keep us going, I guess. Any questions for me?
Tracy, are you thinking of continuing to have your business expo in September, or have you had that discussion yet, or?
It was moved to September this year because of COVID. We didn't have it at all last year. It was moved to September this year because of COVID, so that it could be outdoors and trying to remove it. Honestly, I don't know where it was just last night. We haven't had a chance now to regroup. We'll all regroup at our board meeting here in a couple weeks and then kind of make a decision going forward. It was nice to have it outside and to be out in the open, and we had 4 different food people there. And I know the Diamond D Beef came up and cooked hamburgers, and they sold out, or almost sold out. I think they had like 3 hamburgers left when it was at the end of the night. I haven't followed up with the rest of them to see how they did. But I think it was, considering it's just still trying to get wheels under it, was very well attended. So it'll be definite discussion. I'm not sure which way we'll go with it yet, but I kind of liked it outside. I thought it was,
I did as
Nice.
well. We
Yeah.
got lucky with the weather,
we
but,
did get lucky.
but
with
I
weather.
enjoyed it outside as well, so.
When we actually had the entire high school reserved in case of inclement weather, we could have moved it back inside like it was, but it just, I don't know, it was just nice. It was fun. It'll be fun next year when we start adding on even more things for the kids to do. There was a fishing pond and there was face painting and stuff, but we'd like to see it grow to where it is more, more of a carnival, if you will, type environment that advertises all of the businesses we have in Morgan. So.
Any further questions? The council.
Trace, I just commend you and the other businessmen and women there for your efforts in that. This chamber has been going longer than any other in recent history, and that doesn't happen without some hard work and some commitment and recognizing that it's all volunteer. So good work, keep it up.
Yeah, that was essentially what I was going to say. Thank you, Dave. I mean, I can remember when it was fledging and kind of sputtered along there, and it's really nice to see it up and running, and appreciate the job you're doing in the chamber. And yeah, it was a great event last night. So thanks very much.
So in order for us to be a member of the city, what Tracy's here, all in addition to reporting and here for questions, Tracy's asking tonight if we're for our continued support financially and our membership dues have been in the past. Talking with Ty, they are in the budget. It's already there within our budget. We already passed the budget, so it's there. So it's a matter of approving those this evening. So Tracy again can feel of that level of our support as well. So if anybody,
Does it need to be a motion there?
let's get on the agenda report, you update report and request for 2021-20 membership dues. So we need to make a motion to that effect. It's on the agenda that way. And I don't know exactly, I didn't get the amount. Ty, you know what the amount is, or Tracy? I didn't write the amount down.
20,000.
We ought to have that in the motion, I think.
Okay, and that's already been budgeted, Ty, correct? So, Mayor,
Sorry.
I would make a motion that we approve of the 2022 membership dues for the Morgan Chamber of Commerce in the amount of $20,000.
Is there a second? Okay, motion by Tony, second by David, that we approve the request for the 2021-2022 membership dues for the Morgan Chamber of Commerce. Any discussion on that motion? Okay, seeing none, we'll proceed to vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Okay, motion passed unanimously.
Thank you, guys.
And yes, Fraser, thank you for your leadership in directing the group, steering the ship. Okay. Next time on the agenda is resolution 2122, Utah Municipal Assistance Agreement.
Do you need help, Teresa?
We don't have any public comment, do we?
Do you need Mary's walker yet? Be careful.
And Denise indicated there wasn't any public comment. That's still correct, Denise. Okay, so we moved to item number 4, resolution 2122 on the One Utah Municipal Assistance Agreement between the various electrical companies and organizations in the state. Facility Corp, doing business as Rocky Mountain Power, Utah Rural Electric Association, Utah Rural Electric Cooperative Association, Utah Associated Municipal Power Systems, Utah Municipal Power Agency. I'll just briefly introduce it and then let Gary give us his thoughts on the ties. Basically, a mutual assistance agreement is where if someone has a need, they can contact one of the other associations and ask for help and assistance. As a county, we do that with police force. We do that with our ambulance and those kind of things. And this is one with power. As if or when the power goes down for a variety of reasons, this would then allow those groups to interchange help and assistance. Rather than stand back and just watch and wait for the group to get there, they maybe could ask for another group's assistance in helping that to transpire. Gary, give us your thoughts on that.
I think to a large degree, we already do this, with our local partners like Heber City and Bountiful and some of the others, Murray, and Ty's got great relationships with all of them. And if we ever fell short, that's probably who we'd end up going to. Typically Rocky Mountain Power, when it asks for help from large entities, because it's usually a large failure that occurs. And so they, so it's really, in my opinion, more of a maybe just a statement on the part of the governor, and because there is going to be a news conference on this, but that we're all ready to work together should we come across a calamity like we had, or like California has had with its power companies. And and the difficulties that they've had there. But in reality, I don't think Morgan will probably take advantage of this very often. I know we wouldn't want to pay Rocky Mountain rates to their employees as they come into Morgan and help put up a transmission pole or something like that. So, but anyway, I don't know if you agree with that, Ty, but it is symbolic. And I think it's part of the symbol that all of us are participating in. At least most of the cities are participating, the power cities.
Ty, anything to add?
Yeah, just coming from the emergency management background, this is important. It's a great tool. We currently participate in one with IPSA, which is the certifying body for journeyman laymen, which doesn't include Rocky Mountain Power. So this at least allows that possibility to happen. Right now, we're not allowed to touch each other's equipment or share manpower or equipment. And they're a union, union ran company. So I think this is huge to cross that barrier. We've never had a problem in between the municipals, but this just opens all upside. During a disaster declaration like what we had to go back and reference that we actually had a mutual aid agreement in order to count the resources. We did have a crew from Brigham City here for our entire week. So it doesn't take us very long to need help if you remember the windstorm. And we did get reimbursed for those costs. Just recently, we just barely got that check, didn't we, Denise?
Yeah, we got a check in the amount of $38,866 and some change.
So anyway, it's a good thing. I did check with our insurance to make sure that on the liability side, we're covered, because this states that we would potentially cover the liability for anybody that we request. And that's a little different than what we've had before, where we cover the liability of the people we send. But our insurance is good either way. They said we're covered either way. And so that's comforting. And it's a lot of entities involved in this one. So that'll be good.
Yes, one question I've got, I remember that a couple of power outages we had, and the last one we had was a situation where Rocky Mountain Power had some lines go down feeding Morgan. And if we could have had the opportunity to go in and make some switch changes, we could have got power to the city sooner instead of waiting for them. So I don't know if this would allow us to have a dialogue with them before something happens. So if that happened, for them to allow us to make the switch change or not. That would have benefited us if we could have done that. I don't know if this allows that or not.
You can answer, Ty, but in my opinion, it doesn't automatically allow that. You still have to go
You'd have to get permission still. But would that be a dialogue maybe you'd have beforehand, so that when it happened, they would know they have the ability to call Morgan City if they would allow us to go make that switch for them?
Sure, I think so, don't you?
Yeah, yep. And so if it was, depending on if it was just a routine outage for them, it probably wouldn't kick in, not until you got a request or a large scale. So if they're consumed with a lot of Wasatch Front things, and we're like the last on their list. So all of Morgan only counts as one customer to them, where they do transmission and distribution. So they look at all their distribution customers as customers, and Morgan City is just one customer. So it doesn't really show up as a high priority. But in that scenario that the mayor just gave, with phone calls back and forth, if they know that it's just a matter of switching right at our substation where we're just going to feed it from a different direction, that would allow us to do that. And so it has potential to save us a lot of time. We wouldn't necessarily, I don't think, be rebuilding line and doing that, but we just, as long as it's a safe move and they know they've already inspected their line or they know what the answer is, and it would allow us to basically help ourselves back to power. It could anyway, so.
I just, while we're talking about this, have we sent our crews out to other municipalities to help? I know we've had help come in. Have we sent ours? Good.
A little bit of background on that question. And I forget the number of years ago, several years ago, we had some needs for build some lines and stuff. And we actually had Heber City came down with a crew and with some of their machinery that we didn't have for a period of time. And during that big wind event that Davis County experienced 5, 6, 7 years ago, we sent a crew down to help Bountiful, I know. We had Paul, back when Paul Power crew was down working with the Bountiful people when they had that big wind event down there 5, 6, 8 years ago, whatever it was. So we have done that in the past. But as Gary mentioned, it's usually been with UAMPS partners that we already have an association with. The thing that makes this interesting or more exciting is the potential to be with, have that communication with Rocky Mountain Power and the other 4 agencies.
Yeah, so this year, Kaysville called us right off the bat and we said, oh, interesting. We were just about ready to call you.
We have the wind event this
We have the
year.
same need, which turned our directions north. And then Brigham helped a couple of different
That's
communities.
why I brought Brigham down. They didn't have the wind event.
But yeah, we go both ways. So.
And I know that Austin on the county level received the same request. They called Austin, hey, we need your help on us. Says, help, we need your help too. As far as emergency management on the county level as well.
Nobody could conceive that the wind blows sometimes in Morgan. It, for some reason, happened, but.
Any further questions or input on the?
So is this, oh, I'm sorry. So this resolution is brand new. It's never been proposed before.
We have done.
Okay.
That was all these.
With all these different entities. Okay.
Kind of related to that, Gary, your tie for all the sense this seems to make. Why haven't we done it before? Why hasn't it come together before?
Well,
We've,
you really want to know?
Nobody can get along.
I was just talking to St. George on the way up here. Rocky Mountain Power
is a different element. to work
relationship with the governor, quite frankly. And
Does their own thing, huh?
well, yeah. And so with that new relationship with the governor and the governor's office, I think this went to the top of the list. And you don't usually get news conferences on agreements where you all agree to participate, but this is at the top of the governor's list. I don't think it's a bad thing. I think it's a good thing, exactly what Ty said, because it just expresses a togetherness. But when it comes down to it, it is the biggest 800-pound gorilla in the room is Rocky Mountain Power, and this is a good thing for them as well as us. So that's it. Politics is a good way to put it, Dave. I'm sorry. I like that.
And I think states are being sensitive to like what happened in Texas
Yeah, I
earlier
mean,
this
that's the
year. Then
first
also
thing that
like in California, they're just more and more saying, hey,
The wake up call. maybe.
yeah, what do we do here? And then
If we get in a jam, let's have it legally set up so we can help each other.
We're one of the states that really get along well with each other, which is really good because of the 3 different entities, the co-ops, Rocky Mountain Power, and then UAMPS. Is there another one? I think that's it.
Cooperative Association,
Yeah. Cooperative Association.
Electric Cooperative Association.
Okay, any further questions? Or input or entertain a motion if you're ready.
Mayor, I will make a motion that we adopt resolution 21-22. A resolution adopting and approving an agreement entitled One Utah Mutual Assistance Agreement between Pacific Core, doing business as Rocky Mountain Power, and the Utah Rural Electric Cooperative Association and members of the Utah Rural Electric Cooperative Association, the Utah Association Municipal Power Systems, and the Utah Municipal Power Agency.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
A motion by Tony, second by David. That we pass and adopt resolution 2021-20. A resolution basically sets up a mutual agreements association between the various public entities of over electric power in the state of Utah. Any discussion on the motion? Okay, seeing no votes, since the resolution, we go roll call. David?
Aye.
Tony?
Aye.
Jeff?
Aye.
And Jeffrey?
Aye.
The motion passed unanimously. Okay, next item on the agenda is item number 5, resolution 21-23, bid award to Superior Asphalt for the 2021 crack seal project. We have Lance here with us. Lance is, as all you know, Lance is our road superintendent. So Lance is heavily involved in this. Lance, do you want to just introduce this and what we're doing, what your thoughts and plans are, how you go about it?
Yes, thank you, Mayor. On September 8th, we solicited bids for 5 different areas in the city for crack seal work. We solicited bids from 4 different companies that we've used in the past. The bids were due on back to me by September 22nd. We only received 2 bids back, one from Superior Asphalt and Preferred Paving. And Superior Asphalt was the bid winner at $27,500 versus Preferred Paving at $35,807.
Tell us a little about the projects you're doing, a little about
Okay.
what your thoughts are, keeping our roads in.
Yeah,
shape,
we,
what this does.
From my research and what people tell me, we really need to be crack sealing about a quarter of the city every year. So every year, the city, every 4 years, the entire city is getting covered. This year, we are doing some new maintenance with all the manhole collars on Island Road and water valve bodies where we overlaid and any lips between driveways. And everything else is either 4 or 5 years since it's been done, with the exception of the walking path, which was done 3 years ago, but it's in need again. This is basically, I just have a map that shows all our areas we've overlaid, that shows everything we've crack sealed. And I just put that together and kind of track it back, and we start looking, and it's more by the need than the year. We've got some areas where the road's in a little better shape. We're getting, 5, maybe 6 years out of an area. And there's some areas that, need a little more often. So we just kind of watch it. I track it back 6 years. And this year, after we do this, I'll make a new map and we'll just kind of watch it. And in the spring, when things are cold and the cracks are open, that's when I try and actually put this list together, because you get a better sense of what needs what early in the year before it gets hot and the cracks close back up. So.
Questions?
Any questions?
Lance, similarly, is this part of your budget?
Yes.
Spencer? Okay.
Held off because we also had that road project, and the road project came in under budget. We got pretty good pricing on the road budget, and we were, at the end of last year, we were about $60,000 under budget. And so that's why we're doing it kind of mid-year. And then we'll have a spring project as well with the sidewalk grant that we got. So we felt like it was, we keep up on maintenance if we can. So we just wanted to make sure it was going to work within the budget before we put it out to bid, and
Well,
feel good about the.
and as
Or
well,
what?
traditionally, we've got really good pricing. I know the one year, I think it was MMA Asphalt, they brought 2 crews up and they said, "You're one of our last projects of the year." They said everybody on these 2 crews a month ago was a foreman of their own crew. So as they wind down, they sent all their foremen up on 2 crews. And, kind of that, and the later in the year, if we can time it before the weather, late October, early November, everything's opened up the most. And that's the time of year to do it. It helps with getting it in and getting it cool for traffic. So this late in the year is the time to do this project anyways.
Do you have any stipulations on temperatures, or if it's too cold, to hold them off, or what's the temperature scenario?
I'd have to look it up again. Really is the big thing is being dry. You want it dry. You don't want bad weather. A lot of places do crack seal in the winter. And the big thing though is dry. We want it dry and no moisture in it.
I think you answered my question, Lance. I was going to ask what the timeline was on it, but it's
Yeah, it's scheduled. We told them the work needed to be completed by November 5th. And I know this way, the soliciting the bids is how we've kind of always done it. I'm actually, after receiving only 2 bids this year, I'm actually going to, I'll put the package together next year and I'll have Jones and Associates put it on their website and we'll actually bid it out rather than just soliciting from 4 companies. And hopefully we can get a little bigger pool of bidders on it another year.
Lance, what do we know about Superior, and have we dealt with them before?
I believe I dug back through, spent a few minutes a day. All these companies have done it. I think for years they've been using these same 4 companies and just soliciting the bids. And I don't know when that started, but they've done a good job. I think all these companies do a good job.
About the same.
Yeah.
Any further questions or ready for a motion?
so the irony is it's been dry for 6 months. And so you're going to try and do this and it's going to rain every day. So
But if it does, we're not going to complain.
I hope.
that's correct.
When
So Tony, you haven't washed your car for 6 months?
Well, Cindy has, but
It's ready for motion?
Mayor, I'd move to approve resolution 21 dash. Is that right? 23, okay. Resolution adopting and approving the bid submitted by Superior Asphalt for the 2021 crack seal project.
Is there a second?
second,
Motion by David, second by Tony. We pass resolution 2123, a resolution adopting and approving the bid submitted by Superior Asphalt for the 2021 crack seal project. Is there any discussion on the motion?
Should we
do
include
we
the
need to
amount?
put the cost of the project in the motion, Mayor?
If you'd care to add that to your motion.
Yeah,
David.
to add to the motion or amend for a total of 27,500.
Is that okay as a second?
Still second it.
Any further discussion on the motion? It's a resolution. We'll call for a voice vote. Jeffrey,
Aye.
Jeff,
Aye.
Tony,
Aye.
and David. Motion passed unanimously.
Thank you, Lance.
Yes. Okay, now, we'll now move to item number 6, which is city reports and business. I'll let Ty go first. And council, if you have any input, we'll have an input from you. Okay, Ty, do you have any input, any reports?
Yeah, I was just gonna update the council. We're kind of in conference season. It slowed way down last year from all the COVID shutdown, but most conferences are spring and fall, and so we're in the fall cycle of conferences. And I've encouraged a lot of our staff for professional development, as well as the League of Cities and Towns conferences this week. And we have a couple members of our council attending that. Looks like a really good agenda, good way to prepare for the legislative session. On that note, Denise just returned from a conference. I'll let her, I didn't tell her about this part because then she would have stressed about it. But if you wouldn't mind reporting on the conference that you just attended, because I think it's significant, and all of her position and what she does for that conference, but just to let the council know, she was also the runner-up for Recorder of the Year in her professional association. So we're really proud of her and how serious she takes her job. And I know it's a huge help to me on a daily basis. It was hard a week when she was gone. So you think it's hard when I'm gone, but when we're looking for property records and does anybody know how to pull an abstract and all of that stuff, and she was greatly missed. But anyway, Denise, you want to give us an update on what role you played in and how your conference went?
Sure. So there's an association in the state of Utah called the Utah Municipal Clerks Association. I'm the education director for the association for the state of Utah. And we put together a conference. It was also our Region 8 conference for the International Association. And Region 8 encompasses 11 states. And we had 28 people from Nebraska, Wyoming, Colorado, Nevada, and Arizona attend the conference. We had a great lineup of speakers. We got some really good responses from that, and I'm just glad it's over. But it was fun. It was in Park City, and we had a good time. It's good to be back and networking with our colleagues.
Heard it was highly organized and had a lot of favorable comments. Trace and I went to an outdoor recreation conference in Logan, and it had its challenges. And I think a lot of that was because they were out of the cycle of what conference committees typically do. And I mean, it was a good conference, good content, but the logistics and stuff like that, you could tell everyone was trying to remember how to conference. So I have no doubt that it wasn't a lot because of Denise's effort that their conference went so well. Last.
Also, Ty, thank you for the nomination.
And congratulations.
Yeah.
Nice job.
I would like to add to Ty's comment that whenever, as I come in and hassle the ladies on a basis, Denise is always one to thoroughly follow up on a question you ask right then. It's not even tomorrow when I get done with something, it's right then. She's got the answer oftentimes before I even finish what I'm asking. So I would like to add to that, what Ty said about Denise's thoroughness too. I don't know if we thank Gary for training Denise or thank Denise for leaving Gary.
It took her 30 years to train me.
It was selfish. He wanted her up here. So no matter where he goes, he has easy street.
But thank you, Denise, for what you do, who you are, how you play the game.
She's awesome.
So just my last update is we just started a wellness program today in our staff meeting. It's something that PEHP, because we're a member of PHP, has a resource that we've just never tapped into. And it's something we've been working on and haven't known how to implement it because it's, what do you do? Like a weight loss program, Biggest Loser, but you don't want to call people losers and, losers for winning. And we've gone, I seriously, like we've talked about it. Like,
what do you do?
We want to do something and it's a great resource. It's well balanced. It has mental, social, employment, and it's kind of a menu of options of things. And so Laurie kind of went and learned about it, got the details. We got a little mini grant to get it started. So PHP gave us $200 to start. And our first rebate thing, PHP is going to provide a gift card from Tractor Supply for our employees that participate. So every time they reach a goal, they're going to get their name put in a little drawing. So, it's pretty exciting. For such a small department, it's really hard to pull something like this off without the leadership from our own staff. And so Laurie, Wanda, Clark, and was it Clark? Was it Clark? No. Oh, Matt. Sorry, one of our power guys. Matt and Blake are right now the on the committee, so they met to get all the materials together, so pretty excited. So now our management meeting is our safety committee and our not all hands, but staff meeting we'll use as our wellness committee. So every month when we meet, we'll have health tips and check in with each other and see how people are doing. So we hope it's just one more of those positive, stay healthy things. And it's hard to calculate, but just the work environment's worth it in and of itself. But of course, our healthcare costs, if the healthier we are, the lower our premiums will be and that sort of thing. So we're pretty excited.
Is that a mandatory participation?
Yeah, just like mandatory happiness.
Some people don't want to be happy.
No, it's offered. It's just offered. It's not mandatory, but it was pretty well received, and everybody has in their mind stuff that they are doing well, but everybody also knows this is like, oh, I want to do this. And it kind of just gives that little incentive to just even tracking it gives you a reason. And then there's some small financial.
I can say it's nice to have incentives and they
Yep.
need to be ongoing.
Yeah.
That'll.
But it's a your own
Be
path type
interesting.
of it's kind of like your own path. There's a menu of options. Attend this, do this webinar, do this challenge, one of the challenges listed. So it's definitely a lot more well-rounded than a program I could have come up with, or we could have as a staff come up with ourselves. I mean, we really did stretch our brains trying to think of, like, we knew we wanted to do something, but they put all the thought and effort into it. So we're pretty excited to see how that goes.
Thank you. Anything from the council, questions or input? Jeffrey? Okay, Jeff? Tony? David?
Maybe just report on the planning commission meeting of last Tuesday. Seemed like the big item that went through there was there were 2 public hearings as well as consideration on proposal to amend the general plan as well as the rezone of the property east on 700 East there. And then there was very little input from the public. As a matter of fact, more concerned about traffic than anything, but not really related to the plan change or the rezone change. I would just report that the commission will be sending a favorable recommendation to the council on the proposed change from an R18, was it, Tony, to a RM15, I think. Yeah,
On one part, on the one parcel.
on the Anderson property. Yeah, the Harding was already, or Hardy was already zoned that.
And then there was also a concept that was brought forth that was approved as well, and that was on the concept for the, I'll call it the Darrell Rupp property, so, which doesn't necessarily come to the city council, but the planning commission approved the concept, so.
How many lots? About 25?
I think I counted 24.
24,
I
and
think
then
that's what I counted, yeah. it was
you did
20.
have both 2 ingress and egress, which was one of the requests that
Right.
the neighbors had.
Right, there was no cul-de-sacs on the
I
concept.
think the only change they were expecting was maybe a larger retention pond.
Retention pond.
Yeah.
But that concept was approved, so that probably will be coming down the pike eventually as well, so. The other, as Dave alluded to, it's again, it's over North Morgan. It's the kind of behind the Barbara Anderson property that as you go up the hill there.
I think, yes, she does own the one
There would be
piece.
a,
Yeah.
there would be a potentially, well, not potentially, there would be an access to that property between
Giles.
Giles and Val Hardy's old home right there. That would be where the access would take place. So that gives you an idea of what they were talking about. So.
Yep.
I sent the notice out today for the public hearing for the city council, so that'll be at the next meeting on October 12th.
Thank you.
For October 12th?
They've allowed.
That-
for
oh, yeah, it'd be the
the
first
future for
Tuesday,
two
yeah,
accesses. There's a roadway that's in that concept, as I recall it. You know, eventually we'll exit that piece of property. So it's
Probably not for discussion here tonight, but there will be some work that needs to be done on the right of way.
on the Anderson property, on that,
Well, for the road,
the road going
Yeah.
up to
yeah.
the one over in North
Yes.
Oregon, yeah.
We'll probably know more about that on the 12th meeting then.
I encourage if you just to go take a look at it. It looks like one thing on a flat map. It's a whole different deal when you go over there.
You see the hill.
Jeffrey heard sheep was in that flat country. So I encourage you to go take a look at it and see exactly how flat that is.
I can concur with that because I did and I was a little surprised, so.
I encourage you to go look at it. You can drive the road that goes between, if you Roy Ball's home and Jimmy Henderson's home. You can drive out that road there and look down off into the property. That would give you one vantage point to look off in, as well as from the bottom looking out.
700 east,
Yeah, look at those and so you have a perspective of what's there.
What's coming.
Okay, thank you. Anything else? Okay, meeting adjourned.